Hi.
Just one moment, and I'm going to call the case. Are you ready, Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
The court is calling cause number 110494-F in the interest of Carly Gonzalez and Israel Gonzalez. This is the Brazoria County docket for November the 12th of 2024. Ms. Gonzalez, can you state your full name for the record?
My name is Carly Tatiana Yolanda Gonzalez.
And Mr. Gonzalez, if you could state your full name for the record.
Israel Nicholas Gonzalez.
And who's present from the Office of the Attorney General?
Adriana Rodriguez, present.
And Mr. Gonzalez and Ms. Gonzalez, if you could please raise your right hand. Do you both solemnly swear that any testimony you're about to give in this case today is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes, ma'am. I do.
You can lower your hands. Ms. Rodriguez, do we have any kind of agreements before we start the hearing today?
Yes, ma'am. If I can read the agreements into the record.
Yes, please.
At this time, Your Honor, the parties have agreed to drop the modification and confirm that Ms. Gonzalez is in child support arrears in the amount of $3,594.65 as of October 31st, 2024. She will be paying that by paying $40 per month beginning December 1st, 2024. And that is the extent of the agreement at this time, Your Honor. May I ask the parties if they agree to what I've read into the record?
Yes, please proceed.
Ms. Carly Gonzalez, you heard the agreement I read into the record, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking the court to approve that agreement?
Yes.
And then I pass the witness and call Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, did you hear the agreement that I read into the record?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you asking the court to approve it today?
Yes, ma'am. Although,
we're not done. Don't worry.
all right.
But from just what I read into the record,
Yes,
you're
ma'am. That's
asking
fine.
the court to confirm. Okay. And at this time, Your Honor, I would like to proceed with the only contested issue, which is a non-disclosure requested by Ms. Carly Gonzalez.
You may proceed.
Yes, I would like to call Ms. Carly Gonzalez. Ms. Gonzalez, can you state your full name for the record one more time?
Yes. Carly Tatiana Yolanda Gonzalez.
And are you requesting a non-disclosure in this matter?
Yes.
And so you're requesting not to update your address, your phone number, your email, your contact info to Mr. Gonzalez, correct?
Correct.
And will you explain to the court what's been going on and to make you request that non-disclosure?
Yes, Your Honor, I am making a request for non-disclosure due to a history of domestic violence with the other party. There have been several instances that I can give dates for, but I do want to say on record that I have been made to create materials under the threat of violence and gunpoint by Mr. Gonzalez to absolve him of the charges that he had at the time when the divorce and this process was happening. I did not want to drop those charges, but they were in place, but I had to for my safety.
Okay, Ms. Gonzalez, when is the last time, what is the date of that incident when you were held at gunpoint?
That happened in the summer of 2021, but there have been multiple instances.
Okay.
I have also been raped. I was raped April 14th of 2020. I was sexually assaulted in November 7th, 2020. And he did violate an order, but I was forced to drop those charges for my safety and create emails to help him absolve himself for his innocence.
Okay, Ms. Gonzalez, let's start this. When is the last time that something happened between you and Mr. Gonzalez?
Mr. Gonzalez messaged me to my personal device. Let me pull that up. Per the order on the final decree, he is not supposed to have access to my phone number. I don't know how he got my phone number, and I had changed it, so he did not know it to my knowledge. And he called me. He has also reached
When
out.
did, when did that happen?
This happened, give me one moment.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Has it been in the last 6 months, in the last year?
Yes,
Okay, which one? Can you
it
give
was
me,
in this last couple months.
and he's harassing you? Like, can you give me an example of how
Yes,
he's harassing you?
he is harassing me through digital media. He is harassing me through third parties. So he contacts my friends and family. He slanders me constantly. He, throughout the divorce proceedings and after, online, disclosing details about our sons and just things about the case that were not true. And he's constantly contacting my mother to tell her things relating to me that my mom does not have any, she's not involved. But the last time he called, I'm trying to get that for you, and I do apologize.
Okay,
It's just
tell me this, Miss Gonzalez. When you say he harasses you, what is he saying to you to harass you?
the things that he says, well, a lot of it. So in the past, he has threatened to harm himself and me. He has also threatened to disclose again these details that are damaging to my reputation and has cost me jobs and friendships and just financial, it's caused a lot of financial burden on me. But the things that he is saying, it's just constantly, um, that I'm gonna lose this, that this is my fault, that this is all happening, that I caused these things. He's doing this on our parenting app. He's doing this on social media. He's doing this to my
So,
private phone, but I'm trying to pull that up to get you the date.
okay,
You know,
so, so y'all have a parenting app that y'all are supposed to be using to communicate, is that correct?
yes, and per the
What,
decree, he's not
what,
supposed to contact me at all.
what app is that?
It's called Talking Parents.
Talking Parents. Okay, now let's go back. So when is the last time, Miss Gonzalez, that you have called the police on Mr. Gonzalez?
I have several, give me one moment. I have the numbers for this.
I just need dates. That's what I'm looking
Okay,
for is dates.
I have talked with the Pearland Police Department. Um, I believe, give me one second. One of the last times was 8/18/2023. And this was, he was blocking access and visitation. Um, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 police report numbers where my access and visitation has been blocked consistently.
Okay, so it sounds like a lot of the times when you call the police, it's for visitation.
Right.
When,
I just, because of the different counties and a lot of the crimes happen in Pearland. As far
okay,
as the online harassment, it's on the parenting app, and then he's using third parties. So he is doing this in different, how do you say, jurisdictions. So it's essentially overburdening the officers and the different, counties. So I'm not able to
okay,
get everyone to communicate at the same time. But this is not going to stop until someone steps in. And
okay.
I've done everything I can, Your Honor, to avoid him, to prevent any further issues, and it's never going to stop.
Okay, I need to get, okay. So when is the last time that you've called the police on Mr. Gonzalez for physically hurting you, threatening you, not harassing, but threatening you or your child?
The last time I contacted the police about this was to my memory, Your Honor, there's been several instances, but the most notable one has been from November 7th of 2020. And that's when he was apprehended for family violence.
And did he get charged with anything?
Yes, for family violence. As I
Yeah.
disclosed then to the officer, Your Honor, when I try to come forward about these things, there are several consequences that Mr. Gonzalez takes towards me.
Well, let me ask you some questions, Ms. Gonzalez. Did he go to court for these charges?
Yes,
And what was the outcome?
he was charged, but again, he had me get them dismissed, and I had to do these things for my safety.
Okay, and when you say you did these things for your safety, do you mean that you felt that he was threatening you if you didn't drop the charges?
Yes, and
And
also
how did he threaten you? What did he say to you?
he would use, well, he would hold me at gunpoint for a lot of these
How many
problems.
how many times has he held you at gunpoint?
He has done it at least twice, major
And
times.
and did these occur in 2020 or both since then?
2020, 2021,
And that's
and
it?
and since then, no. I've
Okay.
tried to keep no contact with Mr. Gonzalez.
So are you saying that the only time you've called the police on him was in 2020 and 2021 for actual charges, but both times you dropped them at
For
his,
20 for when he was arrested, during that time, that is when I called relating to that. I did try to, even previously, try to call in for welfare checks, but Mr. Gonzalez would say he was fine, but he has a history of threatening self-harm, and that was why I would do that.
okay,
And so this is a constant pattern.
sure. Does Mr. Gonzalez know where you live right now?
He does. All my license says my address. I'm at home. It's on the decree as well.
Do
You
you
know,
plan on moving Miss Gonzalez in the future?
I would like to please be able to move so I can
Okay.
better my life if possible.
Now, in the last 2 years, how many times has he threatened you with physical harm or abuse?
He may have done it more than once. It got to the point, Your Honor, where I've had to go complete no contact, because in our parenting app is where he's doing a lot of these communications. And if it's not the parenting app, Your Honor, it's through third parties. So I have gone completely no contact. And I believe in either this summer, he did call my personal device, which he is not supposed to do. And I don't know why he called me. But again, these are just things in his abuse cycle that he does when he does not have control over me.
Do you have any other witnesses, Ms. Rodriguez?
At this time, I just have a real quick question for Mr. Gonzalez.
And before, Mr. Gonzalez, do you have any questions of Ms. Gonzalez?
Just to say, this is the first time I've heard any of that.
And Mr. Gonzalez, in a minute, you're gonna get to testify, but this is just the
Okay.
time to ask her any questions.
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, you may call your next witness, Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes, I would like to call Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, are you're not requesting a non-disclosure, correct?
No, I'm not.
I passed the witness, Your Honor.
Why are you wanting her address and telephone number in the order, Mr. Gonzalez?
So in the past, she has just taken my son and disappeared for months at a time. I found out that she was doing sex work, and we had to make a Rule 11 agreement to be able to find her. She doesn't seem to respect anything that's in the order. The order states in bold that she's supposed to be giving me her home address, her employer's address. She doesn't know what school he goes to. She doesn't know she doesn't know about his diagnosis. She doesn't know about his medical problems. She refuses to give him his medication, his prescribed medication that's been given to him. He has asthma now that she's probably just learning about it for the first time just now. But before, even whenever he's had coughs, we didn't know it was asthma. She didn't want to give him his inhaler. I even offered to buy it for her. She wouldn't take it. She's just consistent. Like for my son's health, it seems that if she ever does come and take him, she hasn't exercised her possession in like a year and a half. If she ever does come to take him, she has the right to come take him, but she doesn't know any of his medications. I don't know where she is. Haven't talked to her in over a year and a half. All of
Let
these.
me,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, let me ask you this, Mr. Gonzalez. Are you on the talking app sending her messages about things that she's doing?
What would that be? I haven't
She
seen her in 2 years. I don't.
she indicated you're contacting her on talking app saying, defamatory things about her. Is that correct?
I don't know what those things are. A lot of these things. A lot of this is what I'm hearing for the first time just now. Everything I'm ready to everything that she just said is completely crazy, and I
Okay,
am.
let me ask you this, Mr. Gonzalez. Have you ever, so twice the police have been called on you by her?
She has called the police on me 23 times.
Okay. Now, have you ever forced her to drop the charges?
No, I have not. I actually have text messages telling her not to write affidavits. She kept saying that she wanted to go to these to the police officer. I forget his name now. That she wanted to write all these affidavits. I have all the affidavits. I have all the police reports. I have
Okay.
everything. I have the 911 calls. She's never this gun thing has never come up before.
Okay. Let me
Yeah.
ask you this. We're not going to go back behind whatever was ordered in the divorce decree, which was signed which was ordered in June of 2023. So since June of 2023, how many times have you contacted Ms. Gonzalez via talking app?
Just a couple of times to give her updates about Lazarus. Sometimes if he has a medication, if he's sick, whatever, we're supposed to be putting it in there. We're supposed to notify each other within 2 hours if he's sick, because she's had a past history of not taking him to the doctor whenever he has 103-degree fever, like other stuff like that.
Okay. Have you reached out to any third party via text or phone call regarding her?
Her mom has been contacting me, asking to see my son. She's been texting me for months, and I have been letting her see Lazarus. If this gun stuff was true, why would her mom want to see me? There's so many things, like, where are the police reports for these gun things? This is the first time I've ever heard of it.
Okay.
I've had.
Well,
Sorry.
sir, I'm not gonna go back to anything that happened before the divorce. That should have all been heard in the divorce. So I
It
am
was.
not, yeah, I'm not gonna go back and listen to anything that happened before June 1st of 2023. So it
I do have.
sounds like,
Sorry.
it sounds
So
like
go
those
ahead.
incidences happened in 2020 and 2021. So since June of 2023, do you know how many times she's called the police on you?
Just a couple of times, because she didn't know that he started riding the bus, and she thought that I was keeping him from her.
Okay.
Even though I messaged
Those-
her in the Talking Parents app, hey, he's going to be riding the bus now. You have to send the school a letter about it. She leaves him at school. She doesn't tell him that she's not going to show up for her time. And
Okay. Okay. Well, I can't, there's nothing in front of me regarding visitation right now, guys. Okay. So let me go back to Ms. Gonzalez for a second. Ms. Gonzalez, since June 1st of 2023, has Mr. Gonzalez harassed you or threatened you physically?
He has not threatened me physically, but he has been stalking me and harassing me online.
Okay. I
Yeah.
need to know, what is your definition of harassment? What is he doing to harass you?
Harassment is sending messages, phone calls at inappropriate hours, different times of the day, and saying disparaging things to other parties about me.
What
When
has he said to other parties that it's disparaging?
he's saying that I'm going to go to jail. He's telling people that I lied about what has happened to me. He is telling people, like, he just told you all these things about my son. My son goes to Glen York Elementary School. My son has been diagnosed with potential autism. My son has been to the doctor over 100 times in the last year. They would not take my son to the doctor when I was married to him, and I would go by myself to all of these appointments.
Okay,
Uh,
but we're talking about, ma'am, from June 1st of 2023.
Yes, so he
I
would
don't, I
purposely
don't, I don't want to hear,
block.
I
Yes,
don't want to hear anything before
yes.
that. So
Okay.
since June of 2023, other than, what has he done to threaten you, ma'am, since then?
Well, financially, he would block access and visitation of my son in multiple ways.
Okay,
I have
okay, and you've called the
in
police and you,
2023, yes, and I have at least 5 what do you call it? Case numbers where I've
and
had to talk to the police because he's blocking my access and visitation. And the last date that I have here is 8/18/2023, where I and also his teacher did not know that he did not disclose to me that he put my son as a bus rider because I was going to pick up my son from school by my car, way of car. Okay. And he would do things like that behind my back. So I didn't know that my son was a bus rider. The teacher was horrified, the school was horrified, and I had to show up to his house with the police to get my son. And he's standing there laughing about it, recording. He thinks it's a joke, arguing with me in front of our child. And I am disabled because of the abuse that I have gone through. So trying to travel back and forth by
okay,
car,
Miss
this
Gonzalez,
is,
okay.
and I apologize.
And since June of 2023, how many times has he called you on your cell phone
He has called me once to my new phone number.
and you didn't talk to him?
I did not answer.
Okay.
How
How many text messages has he sent you since June of 2023?
he has tried to contact me via Instagram, but I have him blocked on everything.
But
But
you haven't heard from him at all since June of 2023.
no, and he does like message me in that parenting app, but I was advised due to the level and amount of violence and harassment to just ignore it. I was advised to ignore it.
Who
And
advised you to do that, Miss Gonzalez?
my attorney that I had at the time.
Okay. Do you have an attorney now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. How, okay.
I know it's a lot, but
It's just, the prior order indicates that you'll have to talk between the talking app. If you're
right.
ignoring it, how are you knowing what's going on with your son?
I know what's going on with my son because I take the initiative to do it. He likes to operate from a place of, oh, I'm not going to tell her so she doesn't know. He doesn't know how involved I am. He just doesn't see it. I know his school, his previous teacher. I talk to them a lot. He even disclosed to my teacher that I fake my illness, which I have so many medical bills to prove that I'm actually dealing with a very severe illnesses right now. And that should not be disclosed to a teacher. It's not
but-
related to our son.
But Ms. Gonzalez, you just testified that he's called you once since June of 2023
Mhm.
and that he contacts you on the app.
When it's
But
negative,
hold on.
okay.
Let me finish. I just want to sum up what I'm hearing, okay?
Okay.
He contacts you on the app, but you ignore it per your previous attorney.
Mhm.
You've got him blocked on all devices in regards to Instagram, things like that.
Mhm.
So to me, it sounds like there is no communication going on between you and Mr. Gonzalez at this time.
He's still talking to me,
How?
and he's using the parenting app, but
That's
he's okay. And I get what you're saying, And I apologize if I'm being like
That's,
vague.
I'm
It's
just trying to
just
figure this out. So
right.
just talking it
So
out.
when we're communicating and talking parents, right? I will go and read the messages. I have gone out of my way to organize the text message subjects. If he's in school, you know, what he's doing, anything that's going on. And he will start talking about my finances, the divorce, just things that are not related to our child. And those things I do my best to not look at, you know, and there's really nothing he's telling me that I don't already know. I have access to my son's my chart. I have access to my son's school. They email me all the time. He just doesn't think I'm involved because I'm not, you know, being grandiose about it, you know, and I'm having to take extreme measures for my safety and to make sure my son is not, or our son is not put in the middle of everything because he does not care about whether it's happening in front of our child. And I'm having to do what I can in the best of my ability to avoid any violence, any further issues, because it is affecting my health at this point. And it has already cost me jobs. It has already devastated my finances. I can only do so much right now. But I am behind the scenes aware of everything that's going on with my son.
When did you lose your job because of something Mr. Gonzalez did?
I have lost several jobs, but one of them I worked at a place called Concentrics. I was working remote from home because Mr. Gonzalez would not let me keep a job. There was always a fight happening to where I would miss work and at Concentrics. Um, the other one was I was working at a company that did survival work and things like that. I was working remote then. At that job was where I experienced the most issues with finances because I was having to take my son to and from school and then visitations during a lunch break that the company was working with me to try to give me time to get back and forth to the schools. And so whenever he was blocking my access, he was also doing this while I was clocked in at work. So this has caused severe financial consequences for me. And for them, for him to also be soliciting my son to me, that's unacceptable
What
in
do
our
you mean?
parenting app.
What do you mean soliciting your son?
So in the parenting app, Mr. Gonzalez
Judge
said
objection. Time frame is again, I think,
Yeah,
is it
when did this occur, Ms. Gonzalez?
this happened on the app. Give me one moment. I did email this to the OAG where he is saying that he's any payments if I do.
objection, Judge? Time frame?
Don't tell me what it says. I need to know the time frame before you testify about it.
Okay, one moment. May I look at the,
Yep.
okay. This was 6/1/2023 at 6:23 p.m.
Okay, that was the day that y'all had the hearing on the divorce.
Their judge objection relevant at this time then.
Yeah, I can't hear that, Ms. Gonzalez. That was all done around the time that y'all got divorced. Mr. Gonzalez, is there anything else you'd like to tell me regarding the issue of the non-disclosure today?
Yes, I just want to say something about her character. Like, all this stuff is completely insane. She's saying that I pulled a gun on her in 2020, 2021. I know, but
I know-
just for her character, we've been having sex in the 2022. I have videos and photos of us at hotels together. We've been together. This is complete insanity. Her saying like her saying that she that I'm blocking visits. I've never blocked a visit for her. I'm thinking what she's trying to testify right now. I'll say that I wouldn't have said this on the 1st of June or whatever, whenever we had the court date, and she was ordered to pay child support. I messaged her. I said, if you keep showing up for Lazarus, if you keep seeing Lazarus,
Objection
Yeah,
relevance.
I didn't let her testify to that, so you're not gonna testify to it either, Mr. Gonzalez.
okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, she just all this stuff is coming out of coming out of the blue completely. She's since even in She keeps telling all of his teachers and pediatricians and everybody that I've been sexually assaulting him, that my entire family is sexually assaulting him, that we're sexually assaulting each other. Everything is completely made up. We've already
Okay,
had
okay.
CPS look into it.
When, Mr. Gonzalez, when's the last time you had CPS, that you talked to CPS about Ms. Gonzalez? Has it been since June of 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
How many times since June of
She
2020?
had called CPS whenever she found out that she was losing possession that same day within 2 hours. She called CPS and told them that I was sexually assaulting all my.
So you're saying this happened the day of the divorce?
Yeah, or like just like the day before the divorce, something like that. It was like
Okay, no,
right
we're
then.
not gonna get into that then. Okay. Ms. Gonzalez, anything else you'd like to tell me before I make my ruling?
Yes, this has been going on for a very long time. I am in danger if I am in or around this man. I can, everything that he is saying and claiming that is a lie, I have reports, I have everything. I was, when he raped me, I
Ma'am,
was,
I'm sorry, I cannot hear anything that happened before June of 2023.
okay.
You guys
So
have litigated all of that.
for 2023, he's saying that I called CPS on him. No, that is not true. My son disclosed to me that a child in his home touched him. I
Ma'am,
asked,
I can't hear
you
any
know,
of this.
I
Okay,
understand, but I don't have a reason to lie about this. This is going to continue. Even if I say nothing, he is going to continue. And I am begging someone to please step in and stop this. This
okay,
is, I'm,
I hear
please.
you, Ms. Gonzalez. I hear you. Here's the issue. But again, Ms. Rodriguez, anything that you'd like to say before I make my ruling?
Nothing at this time.
Okay. A non-disclosure is not going to stop whatever you think is both going on at this time. All it does is it keeps your address out of the order. If you guys have issues with harassment, you need to get a protective order. You need to do something else for your own benefit. So listening to the testimony from June of 2023, when the last order was done till now, I have not heard that there has been any significant threats or that nature. The only thing that I'm hearing is there's issues with visitation and communication. I have not heard that the police have been called on Mr. Gonzalez. It really just, my goal as the judge in this case is to figure out what is the best for the child in this case. Both of you, and I understand it can be difficult, really need to work on communication. I'm going to reiterate, you guys both need to use the talking app only to speak with each other. Continue to do what the prior order says, but I have not heard enough testimony to warrant a non-disclosure of the addresses of any parties today. And you have other avenues to take if you want this to stop. All the non-disclosure would do would keep your address out of the order, but y'all both know where each other lives at this time. So the court is going to find that the parties are non-suiting the modification of the prior order in this case. There is a child support judgment of $3,594.65 as of October 31st. Ms. Gonzalez is ordered to pay that at $40 a month beginning December 1st. There will be no non-disclosure in this case today, and court costs as billed will be assessed against Ms. Gonzalez. You're going to have until November 12th of 2025 to pay those off if Brazoria even bills you for them. Ms. Rodriguez is going to need you to sign a copy of the order today. Did you have a question, Mr. Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry, but I don't believe I have her address or her phone number. What she gave before is, from everything that I've seen, is false. My son's visited over there. She's not there. He's visited to the house that she's supposed to be at. He says that her clothes aren't there. She's not living there. The phone number that was provided to the school, they called it. They said that it's not in service. I don't have any way of contacting her. She doesn't
Okay.
check the Talking Parents app or whatever. I don't have emergency contact for her if she comes and takes my son, and because she doesn't know about any of his medication or anything like that. If something were to I have no way to contact her. while we're supposed to be talking through a Talking Parents app, I believe it's in the court order that if in case of emergencies, we need to call each other immediately, which is how it should be, and I have no way to do that.
Okay. Miss Gonzalez's current phone number will be in the order today. The OAG is also going to make sure her current address is in the order today.
Okay.
I can't order anything to help with the communication between the two of you. That is something y'all are going to have to work out on your own.
And I have nothing against her. I'm not.
No, I know. And Miss Gonzalez, I'm going to recommend you check the Talking app regarding your son. I understand if there's messages regarding the divorce or your personal situation, that I have no issue with you ignoring. But when it comes to your son, just make sure you're checking those messages and communicating with each other. Yes, Ms. Gonzalez.
Your Honor, I have provided him with these things. I know you're saying that there's some things you guys can't talk about right now, but I have the information you're asking about. I just don't, I don't know how to get that to you, but I can, if you just give me 5 seconds, I can give you the date of when he called me and things like that.
But let me ask you this, Ms. Gonzalez, when he called you, did you talk to him?
No.
Then I don't need the date because nothing happened. He didn't harass you that day, correct?
Well, he's not supposed to call my personal device
I thought,
for the order.
does the divorce say that in emergencies, you have to be able to call each other?
Yes, but there
Okay.
was not an emergency on this day.
It was actually my son
How-
that called her because my son, he plays with my phone and he saw her name in the thing and he called her, and then that's all it was.
Okay.
Your Honor, Lazarus cannot.
No, I'm done taking testimony, guys. I've made my decision. There will not be a non-disclosure in this case today. I'm going to send you both back to the breakout room. Any additional questions you have, the Office of the Attorney General, they will try to answer those for you. Ms. Gonzalez, you're going to get a pop-up to go to break room 10. If you could click on that. Mr. Gonzalez, you're going to get a pop-up to go to break room 7.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you guys both. They'll get you to sign the order and answer any questions you have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.